finding Fortune of War, which is Sydney's oldest pub. So yeah, just standing outside Sydney's oldest pub. In fact, it's open, but I don't know. I probably won't go in because it's just a bit kind of weird. You just kind of walk into this pub and kind of start filming, and then giving this kind of commentary, and you don't even like order anything. And maybe that's what happened last time. And yeah, when I got kind of rejected, I had to leave. I was at Transit Bar in Canberra, and maybe just looked a bit strange. And I don't know. I kind of just walked in. I was like just looking around the place, and then started giving commentary. But yeah, they probably would have thought I was just talking on the phone. But it was just a bit strange. And yes, I did sort of ask a few questions. I mean, well, I just said, is there a vegetarian option? And just things like that. But I guess it looked a bit strange. So maybe I won't sort of film, inside, kind of pubs and things. But on the street, well, it's fine. I mean, you can do, technically whatever you want on the street. So yeah, this is, I know you can actually see it's kind of interesting. The bar itself is kind of, come a little bit closer. Yeah, the bar. And there's some ruling. I remember when I was in Tasmania, there was something about certain, I don't know, something about taps, certain drinks, because obviously this would probably be heritage listed, and so there's rulings about drinks. Certain drinks have to be on tap, and other drinks can only be bottled or something like that. I remember when I was ordering a soda. I know there was something about that, which was quite interesting in itself, because I guess they want to keep the tradition. So yes, if something is World Heritage, you can't just change things. You can't make renovations or just change the seating or and so on, because you want to keep the obviously the original fitting, layout or decor. And I think that's a good thing. Now, yeah. So this is Sydney's oldest pub. So what about Australia's oldest pub? I think is in Hobart, and I think I went there. I think it was a pub hotel in Hobart. Hobart typically has the oldest, in general. It has the oldest synagogue, which I went to. Yes, it has the oldest church. Yes, we're in Richmond. In fact, it has the oldest river and church, and you can actually view the church and the bridge in one. So you can actually get in the one photo, and that's in Richmond, which is about, I don't know, 15 kilometres or something from Hobart. So that's a very, very historic town. So why Hobart and not Sydney? Because it was founded. Australia was well when the first fleet came out. Yes, 1788. But I don't know. Maybe they didn't make any. I don't know. So maybe, I don't know, was it something to do with the, I don't know, Industrial Revolution? I don't know. But anyway, this is Sydney's oldest pub. What is it? 1838, 1828. So what's Hobart go? I'd have to look at the records, but Hobart typically older, and of course the oldest tennis court, or oldest royal tennis court in Hobart. So Hobart, or Tasmania has the oldest, not typically not Sydney. And so yeah, if you make a trip to Australia, yes, it's one thing, yes, to see Sydney, but I guess Tasmania as well, and Hobart, and yes, there's also Mona as well, and of course the natural features, the Cradle Mountain. In fact, the Baron was just in Tasmania. Went across the top rim of Tasmania. From Launceston, where we get the gorge, and then across to Latrobe, we could quite likely see a platypus, and then went to. In fact, there was also the Axeman Hall of Fame in Latrobe, typically dominated by the Foster family, or was it Dave Foster, I think, and then also to Devonport. Devonport's where the ferry crosses from Melbourne to Tasmania, and then across to Stanley for the Nut. So it was a good trip. I don't know, 2.5 weeks, maybe all up. Uh, okay, yes, I was going to say. So yeah, so the Barons on the home and away tour today, and I was just I was just looking at the kind of the history of the program, and the founder. It was actually originally going to be called Refuge, because the original house, the the original house was was a foster home, if you can recall, run by Pippa and Pippa and some Tom, I think Tom, and yeah, they had four. There was typically Kate Ritchie, Sally Fletcher, and I think Frank. There was Carly. There was about four or five, and I think Bobby Simpson came later. And so the guy who founded the program, he was in the city and I think he was wondering why there was no foster home for refuge for refuge, as a place of refuge for I don't know, for refugees or and so on, or for orphans, and that's how he sort of created the show out of that, which has become probably the most successful drama, and it's been the longest running drama series, second longest running, and of course Neighbours being the longest running. But Home and Away has typically got more awards. It's also got probably more international success, particularly in the UK and in Ireland. And they've got 49 Logies out of Home and Away. I don't know how many Logies Neighbours has. I mean, the Barons never actually watched Neighbours. So typically, I don't think younger generations will be watching Neighbours. I think they'll be watching Home and Away, because they generally get quite a young cast on there. But yes, it's had a lot of controversy in terms of the themes of the. Yeah, so I was just reading on, and so there's going to be, so being a Sunday, they won't be filming on a Sunday. They film on a Tuesday, on a Tuesday tour, but there'll be a cast member on the bus traveling the whole time. Who that is, obviously I don't know, and I probably won't know them because it's probably likely going to be a modern cast. In fact, the only cast from the original or been there a long time is of course Raymar, Al Stewart or Mr. Stewart, if you're younger than 35, and also who was it? Marilyn. Marilyn was also pretty much one of the originals, and I think Rue, Al's daughter, and also the one who runs the diner. I just can't recall her name, but you'd probably know who I'm referring to. So they're pretty much the only sort of originals. That so and Baron hasn't watched this show for I don't know, possibly up to about 10 years. So I probably won't actually be able to recognise any of the cast that are there. I mean, they've had quite a large number of casts over the years. I think it was something like over 8,000 episodes have been filmed on Home and Away. But the interesting thing is, so yes, it's in Palm Beach. I think I also use Redfern as well for some of the settings, but typically Palm Beach. And well, will we actually go to the house that there was the original house, run by Pippa 1 and then by Pippa 2, and Tom, and yeah, so we'll be able to see that house and let alone go into the house. I don't know if the house is it still being used on the show. I don't know. I don't know. Of course, the Bayside Diner. That's obviously would be a highlight, and then I think there was Salt. Is it Salt, which is another I don't know kind of cafe or restaurant. Yeah, I think and the Caravan Park. Yeah, and the Caravan Park as well, where of course most famously for the likes of Lance Smart, Martin Dibble. I think he won. Was it Lance Smart? I think he won something like $1 million or something on some sort of lottery ticket. Yeah, it was like this whole story about Lance Smart winning $1 million. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for, but I don't know. what exactly we'll be seeing. But I've got that 10:30. So just meeting. So I'm meeting at the Rocks. So yeah, as you can see, I'm at the Rocks, and we're just meeting in was it Harrington Street, just kind of a couple of minutes away. But they drop us at Manly. I don't know why they drop us at Manly. I mean, I don't know. Why don't they just drop us back at the Rocks? But anyway, we're going to be dropped off at Manly. I mean, I was just in Manly yesterday. So I might actually go to Shelley Beach, although that's sort of 5:30. Or I could go for a Kitan at Govinda's. It just depends. I don't know how I'm sort of feeling. Also, the weather as well. Could be a thunderstorm. Could even rain later today. So just depending on a few factors, whether I hang around Manly, go to Shelley Beach, or whether I just go to Govinda's, which would be quite convenient if I go through, get a ferry back to the city, and then go to Darlinghurst for Govinda's, and then of course camping at the caravan. So yeah, incidentally, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that I'm going on this home and away tour, and I'm camping in a caravan park, which of course was the original. The caravan park was kind of the famous, kind of prop in the original days. So that in itself is quite interesting. And yeah, so I made a post. Yeah, this ant on my arm. I mean, I can show you. So this is the actual. Right. So I had the ant basically on my arm, but I know it's completely gone. I mean, there is no sight at all, like not even just a little bit of paint at all. It's like completely gone. Is that sort of typical of paint or body paint? Does it just, I don't know, does it just last? I don't know. I remember I probably had it on. I was probably painted around about 7 p.m. and I woke up around about, I don't know, 4 a.m. So that's 8 hours. So roughly 8 hours later. Is that the case? It just goes completely. I don't know. It's just a bit strange. But I mean, it kind of makes sense that if you got paint, you don't want to be having to wash it off. So maybe it just goes, over time. But yeah. Okay, so I've got about an hour. So I don't know. I might go to the museum. There is the Contemporary Museum. If it opens, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock, I could go there. Might just have a look around the Rocks. Things don't open. It's Sunday morning, so yeah. And you can see the Rocks here. So this is kind of the whole precinct. This is the whole precinct. You can see in there. And they typically have the markets here. I don't know. Is it on Sunday? I don't know. They have the markets here. It might be once a month. Of course, I had the Manly markets yesterday, which is why we had the stall for Team Zali. This is quite interesting. If you sort of go in kind of these, you just go through these sort of back streets, kind of, well, when I say back streets, you kind of get off the main drag. And it gets kind of interesting. I don't know. There could be a few, I don't know, maybe some cobblestone. You kind of want cobblestone. Something about cobblestone that is kind of appealing. Like typically, when Barron was in like old Quebec City, it was like cobblestone in sort of London. Some of these really old cities, you'll get cobblestone. Just go a little bit further up. We're going to some sort of, I don't know, really. Yeah, I remember this sort of building here. And there's some cafe I remember going to. I don't know, maybe I've missed it somewhere. It's kind of a Middle Eastern sort of restaurant. Looks kind of interesting. think I went there once actually. But yeah, typically the prices, I mean, yeah, it could be pretty expensive. Of course, being the rocks, and so yeah, I guess you just have to weigh all that up. But yeah, it was, I don't know, kind of lost. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going. So but yeah, you just kind of meander, you know, around the rocks, which of course is right next to, which is Circular Quay, right next to the, you know, the Harbour Bridge, Opera House, and there's the MCA, the Museum of Contemporary Art. So yeah, it's got everything. Okay, I might log out. That was a Brown Breaks going on a home and away tour. Yeah, without I put in a Kate Ritchie because of the I don't know, kind of the controversy. She was like really young when she started. I don't know what, she may have been about 7 years old, and then left. I don't know, kind of retired early, but she didn't really retire. She actually, I think she went into radio after that. Okay,